I have a serious question. What makes one a patriot? What are the bona fides to being a real die in the wool, red, white, and blue American, and that you love the country? What are the earmarkings? What are the pillars? What makes you an American? I have some thoughts. It's Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024. I'm Stuart Allister. Recently, Tucker Carlson went on Joe Rogan, and there was an exchange in which Tucker Carlson said something, and someone else took that phrase, took that thought, and tweeted it out. What ensued after that was an interesting debate. Does Tucker Carlson hate America? Because Jeremy Boring says that statement means he hates America. And I got to tell you, that's a stretch. You tell me that Tucker Carlson hates America. Because when I think of someone who hates America, I think of Cori Bush, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. I think of AOC. I think of Nancy Pelosi. I think of, the Bidens. Those are the people who actually hate this country and would do this country harm. But Tucker Carlson? Jeremy, you're grasping at straws here. And by the way, in full, disclosure, I am a subscriber to the Daily Wire. But just because he makes a good newspaper or, news organization doesn't mean he's right about everything. Right? All right. Before we go any further, why don't you wreck that like button? Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and press that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Now, this is interesting. Facts. The real history of Ukraine. Now, do you guys remember when Tucker Carlson interviewed Vladimir Putin? And Putin gave this very extensive history lesson. But somehow, some way, Ben Shapiro says the real history of Ukraine. I wonder if that had anything to do with it. Like somehow, some way, Tucker Carlson was shielding for Russia. That his true loyalties lie in Russia. I don't know about that. So here it is. Tucker Carlson on the atomic bombs. This is what he said, quote, "My side has spent the last 80 years defending the dropping of nuclear bombs on civilians. Like, are you joking? If you find yourself arguing that it's a good thing to drop nuclear weapons on people, then you are evil," close quote. What do you think about that? Here's the problem just with that statement. And by the way, all right, I'm not an expert. I don't know. I do understand, though, that Japan is not the Japan that we know today. In fact, that Japan were like the Third Reich. Ungodly, brutal, despicable, doing despicable things. I know that so much time is spent on our time in Germany, but Americans actually spent the bulk of the war in the South Pacific, not in Germany. I mean, there were battles in Germany, but the bulk of our war effort was in the South Pacific. But I digress. So, to that, this is what Jeremy Boring said, which people who deny the moon landing or suggest America is evil for its use of atomic weapons against Imperial Japan, or who say that George Bush was behind 9/11, actually hate this country. Do you agree with that? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's so over the top that it's alarming. Like, really? So, Jeremy, you're telling me that I'm not allowed to question my government. That when my government gives me a story, I am to buy it. I can't do any investigation. I just have to buy it. I mean, if that's the case, what do we need news organizations for? No, seriously. Why do we have news organizations? Why do we have investigative journalism? Why do we do that? Why is the White House constantly answering to the press? Why are people, like Matt Taibbi and Glenn Greenwald, or why do those people even exist? I mean, they're not doing anything useful. That doesn't flat out makes no sense at all. You're telling me that if I question my government, somehow I'm not an American. In fact, you went further and said that I hate America. Really? Because this government did experiments on black people. No, I'm not talking about Nazi Germany. Those people were evil, sure. This government, the United States government, did experiments on black people. Well documented, by the way. I mean, I'm not going to get into the particulars, but go ahead and look it up for yourself. Real ones. Like dastardly, you could only see the evil in it kind of, experiments. By the way, without black people, those who were being experimented on without them even knowing it. I'm just curious. If I question the morality of that, does that make me hate? That means I hate America? Because I question the morality of that? Because I'll tell you right now, I question the morality of that. Absolutely. It is immoral. And I know for the fact they did do it, and that is evil, period. Don't start experimenting with human beings because you're trying to I don't care what you're trying to build. If it is legitimate, number one, why are you only using one segment of society? Number two, if it's so good, why aren't you telling them? Don't give me that crap that you can't question the government. For the first 3 years of Donald Trump's presidential cabinet, our government was trying to unseat him. They were trying to put him behind bars. I questioned it. See, so to me, that's just look, there are certain things where people are really, really smart and brilliant at certain, disciplines. And not everything the person's going to say about every topic is going to be golden. This is one of them. That just makes no sense. If I question 9/11, so once again, you're not supposed to question the government. By the way, you can't. I'm sorry. I'm not playing this game. You don't get to say, well, I didn't say you couldn't question the government. That's exactly what he said. Don't play that game with me. You're telling me people who deny moon landing or suggest America is evil for your use of atomic weapons against Imperial Japan, or who say that George Bush was behind 9/11, all of those people, like Vivek Ramaswamy, he has some real concerns. There are people around this country that have real concerns. They want to know what happened. And you saying something like this, if you question, if you deny moon landing, I wonder what happens when someone questioned the, I don't know, weapons of mass destruction. If you question the weapons of mass destruction, you just hate the country. That just doesn't make any sense to me. So I can only surmise one thing, maybe two or three. Number one, Tucker Carlson slept with his wife, and he's pissed because this statement just doesn't make any sense. He like, dude, you're running a news organization, and you don't think we should be questioning our government? You don't think we should? Here's the thing he's saying. People who deny, if they deny it. Then he says, or who say George Bush was behind 9/11. They actually hate this country. What makes you a patriot? It's a legitimate question. Are you a patriot if you never question the government? That makes you a patriot? Because if it does, then I'm not. I am absolutely not. I question everything. Particularly after the last lockdown, and I don't trust anything that comes out of the government. Up to and including Donald Trump, by the way. He's the one who kept Fauci. He still touts the, poke. No, sorry. And if that makes me, then I'm not one. I'm going to question it. I'm going to question the authority. By the way, that's what makes you an American. That you have the balls to question those who have authority over you. That you're not just blindly following like sheep, like somehow, some way, my leaders can't be corrupt. You see, when you start thinking like that, you end up like the black community where as long as the person looks like me, I'm never going to question it. I'm always going to vote for those people because those people are the smart ones. And I should never even look into whether they're actually spending the Ukrainian money before it even gets there. Sorry. Nah, I don't buy it. Me being an American, it's not only my right, it's my duty to question everything that this country does. And sometimes, by the way, this country does some really bad stuff. I love her nonetheless. And I guess maybe that's what I'm saying. I know slavery is a horrible, horrible institution. I love America nonetheless. You see some of those, the footage from the civil rights era, man, it is infuriating. I love this country nonetheless. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I'm looking at this in a panoramic view. As far as I can see, unless there's some sort of, I don't know, nation underwater or maybe in the sky that I can't perceive, America is still the best deal in town. Do we do bad stuff? Abso-stinking-lutely. You're not going to have someone like John Brennan or Obama running things and then tell me that we're not doing some bad crap. Even that being said, I love her nonetheless. She's my home. Love to know what you guys think. I think that Tucker Carlson didn't get it all right. I don't think it makes you evil. And it was my understanding that the reason we dropped the second bomb was because they wouldn't give up. They still thought we were just playing. Like they were not going to give up. And so, okay, well, maybe we'll just get rid of you entirely. And this way, we didn't spend American lives. And here's, I guess, maybe the bottom line here. If it comes to your country or our country, your countrymen and our countrymen, I'm going to get rid of yours instead. Now, Tucker Carlson says, well, that you're just evil. Okay. We'll just have to agree to disagree. All right, that's it for now. I went really long on this. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.